Hey guys, I'm going to show you a couple things that are actually pretty common sense, but if you just want to get started building your own airsoft forts, there's a couple things you'll need, which is already kind of self-explanatory. But if you live in a wooded place, typically around here in Washington there's a lot of blackberries, so you'll want clippers to get rid of those. You also want a saw for, depending on what you're doing, if you're building one out of wood, like this one, you're probably going to want to pre-cut the wood, like your house, with a circular saw, or a wood saw, like one of the ones with the wooden handles and the flat blade. This is more of just a branch saw, or it's for cutting tree wood, not pre-cut 2x4s, although you can still do it, it's just a little different. You're also going to want nails or screws. Typically, if you want it to last longer, like a pretty big fort like this one, also you're going to want to use bolts and screws, but for the stuff you do like out in the woods, like usually it's pretty good just to use nails, or it's good enough. Along with the depending on what you use, if you use nails you'll want a hammer, of course, kind of self-explanatory, and the same for screws. You want an electric screwdriver because a normal one would take too long. Also, I use nails a lot more because the rechargeable batteries on our electric screwdriver, they are dead right now, so I'm using a hammer and nails. Also, if you're going to be digging trenches, you'll for sure want a shovel, and maybe even a post hole digger. I don't have one up here because it's not necessarily what I'm doing today. And if you live in a place with a lot of trees, like say on the flip side, if you're in a place with just like flat land, then you'll probably be fine with just a shovel. But if you live in a place with trees, it's most likely that there's going to be a lot of roots in the way, so you're probably going to want something to cut through that. And I use a pickaxe. You can use a saw too, but cutting through like the dirt and stuff dulls the blade a lot, so I just use the blade edge of a pickaxe, and that works pretty well. A couple other tools I didn't mention. You might want an axe. This is just a normal wood cutting axe, or a hatchet. That might help. You don't necessarily have to have one, especially if you don't live in a wooded area, but it can help. Sometimes it'll be faster than a saw. And of course, if you get a parent's help, or you're old enough, you can use a chainsaw too. That's definitely a lot faster than cutting. And another thing, also not a necessity, but sometimes it's nice to have a rake, especially when there are so many leaves on the ground. But yeah, so those are just some things I forgot to mention. You're also going to want wood, and typically if you live in a wooded area, that is no problem. You can find a lot of branches that you can cut, or just ones that have fallen on the ground already, and those are pretty easy to come by. At a lot of places, you can buy pallets, or not even buy, some places you can just get for free, like behind some stores, maybe like on around here we have McDaniel's, it's a local store, and sometimes we've gotten them from there. But there's also companies like places that sell cable, or not like TV cable, but like the heavy duty stuff that comes on spools. You can go there and buy spools, or not buy, sorry, you get them for free. But there's a place near us that we can just go there and pick them up. And typically all you have to do, if you see a store that has them in the back, you can just ask, and sometimes they'll be reusing them, and other times they'll just give them to you for free. So that's one thing to check out. Also, you just want a lot of stuff we have is just scrap. I don't like buying stuff because I'm in high school and I don't have a job right now, so I don't make any money, and everything else is just from savings. So all this is scrap from like just stuff we've had in our garage from previous projects. Also, you can see like over there, there's a pile we just made from fallen sticks, but over there's a fallen tree, and over here there's another that fell a while ago. And so if you live in a wooded area, it's pretty easy to find wood. Like here's one that fell, here's one I cut down. There's just tons everywhere, and we still haven't gotten around to using it all. And not all of your forts have to be necessarily solid either. They can be just like this. I've just taken a couple branches and put pine needle branches on top of them. You can still shoot through it, but it gives you the camouflage that you need. Also, you'll want to use like natural formations that you find near you. So this was like a little hill that we had in our woods, and we just cut it out, and that made it a lot easier than having to just stack a ton of wood. We just put a little bit of wood on top of the hill. If you're going to be building something in the trees, you might want something like this. Just look for things that'll give you a good spot. Like this is just one tree, but it branches out into 3 separate trunks. So it's really easy to just put up some planks and then make a platform from it. And also, not many people are able to do this, but we had a ladder that no one used anymore, so we just tied that up. Also, we have horses, and baling twine is very useful for a lot of things. I'm not sure if you can go to places that sell hay and get that for free, but if you do have horses, that's really cheap because they eat a lot of hay, and the baling twine is free with it, so we have tons of that, and we'd probably ever run out. And if you're in need of wood, like good wood, you can ask around. Some people, like my neighbor just stopped by when I was building, and he asked if I was running low, and I said sure. And he has some at his work that they just have as scrap and they don't use anymore, so he came by and dropped a bunch off. So if you know some people that might give you some wood, then that's what she said. But no, you just ask around. Some people are really nice, and you might get some stuff for free, and you won't have to go out of your way to buy your own. Well, a lot of the stuff I use is just junk. Like this is scrap tin roofing, and you can just, if you have projects that you and your family are doing around the house or anything you've been working on, and there's leftovers, you can feel free to use that. Just be sure to make it so, or just be sure to ask if it's okay first. And also around here, I don't think many people care, but you also want to make sure it's okay with like your family, that you're not just putting junk in your backyard. I mean, no one comes out here much, so it's all right, but just make sure it's okay so you don't have angry parents or anything. This tower is another example of something I got for free. It was I think it was like a refrigerator crate, and it was in like a big free wood pile, and you can look around, like check local businesses, and some people just have boxes outside their business, and same with that spool there, or the top part of it, we got from the same place. They'll often just set stuff out for free and you can get it. So we just tilted it upright and it made a pretty good tower. Again, tons of the stuff I use is just junk. This was a oil barrel that was on our property when we moved in, and you've probably seen this if you've watched some of my other videos, along with that tire and those chunks of concrete, which were part of an old patio we had. So just you can use literally anything. And I know not everyone's fortunate to have areas like this to build, but do the most with what you have and have fun with it, because I like doing it. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys will too. So thanks for watching this, and I hope some of these tips have helped, or a lot of it might just be common sense. So either way, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.